Alrighty, hey there, friends. Sorry about that. It took me a little time to. I had to tear some things down on my computer. Took me a little bit of time to put things back together, get the camera working again. Okay, boy, we've got something for you today. Just gonna give me a second or two, and maybe I can go like this. Hold on. There we go. That works. Oh. Okay, just stop right there. All right, now then, let me just do one thing. I have to, there we go, look at that. That is almost right. Everybody doing okay tonight? Boy, it was a gorgeous day today, wasn't it? I hope everybody got a chance to get out, get some sunshine, get some vitamin D, and hope you're feeling good. And oops. I hope everybody's feeling okay, because, there's a lot of fear and panic going on right now about this whole coronavirus thing, and I think it is unnecessary fear and panic. Okay, I just got to think. I got to go down with this one. Okay. So here we go. Guess who we caught on a hot mic. And I want to be very, very careful here because what happened today was nothing short of, in my opinion, miraculous. Okay? Now you might not think, when I tell you what happened, you might not think it's a big deal. But if you kind of pay attention to politics, sometimes these little things add up to a big deal, okay? A big thing. So say hi in the chat, and if you're watching, and smash the like button, okay? Hit the like button. I'm looking right now, and I see 0 likes, and I see there's at least a couple of people watching. So I want to see that like button go up at least by 1, and we're gonna get into it. So, Don Lupardo. So here's the deal. All right. So I'm very much into the power of, you might call it the power of prayer. It's, if you're into, certain religious paradigms. If you're not into different kinds of religious paradigms, you might call it the power of intention. There are, it's called the secret, different things. It has to do with just basically being able to live skillfully and to try to get the things that you want to create in life. And people tend to think about, in the way the movie The Secret, this came out years ago, they kind of sold it in a very materialistic terms. And this really isn't the best use of The Secret. Is me, more. Where it's best, the highest and best for using these techniques, or even just the power of prayer, is when you're working in the interest of 7 generations. If you're working in the interest of clean air and clean water for everybody, unconditionally, that's what I like to do, okay? And so, so I pray for the highest and best out of this. I don't want to embarrass anybody, but I want to show you what happened, okay? I want to show you what happened. And in my opinion, what happened today is a little bit embarrassing. for Donna Lupardo. It doesn't look good. It does not look good. It either looks like you don't know what's going on, or maybe you don't care. I mean, I think there was care expressed in this. There's a happy ending. There is a happy ending, okay? It's looking really bad, but there's a happy ending. So we're going to play it. Let me play you this clip really quick. Let me find it. I have to find a window, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about it. I have too many windows open. I have too many windows open. Why don't I play it like this? Oops. So, I don't know what that one is, but I'm just going to give me 1 second. I'm calling the clip up, and I gotta go to the right folder. I'm not checking the chat, but if you have a question or if you have a comment, I would appreciate you just leaving it in the chat. Just say hi if you want to. And say hi in the chat. Okay. So... Okay, hold on. Because I want to see if I've got the desktop audio. I'm tempted just to let this thing run. I'm tempted to just let this thing run. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry about that. I'm not paying attention here. And I have to frame this thing up. I'm very sorry. Just frame it up. Okay. Here we go. Are you ready? Here it is. So, I'm just going to let this go. I might play... I'm going to let it... I'm thinking... Here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to let it play through once, and then we'll go back and we'll talk about it. So, here we go. What's that? Oh, have you seen the ones where they put the smile on it? They put the face on it? Donna, I heard that closed Zoom call. I really appreciate your comments you made that night. Okay, let me just set this up a little bit. What this is this was a press conference. I'm sorry the picture is a little bit dark. I rushed to get this done and be able to put it out today. So I didn't do all the color correction that I normally do. But I did caption it because it's a little bit hard to hear and she's off camera for most of the time. This was an event at Round Top Park today, dedicating this new, they cut some trees. They made it so you could see out to the river. It's very beautiful. You can see off a long ways, probably several miles. You can see Gowdy Station. You can see the Vestal Parkway. It's really delightful. It's an amazing place. And so they had this little dedication ceremony. I guess they got some grant money or something, And they had this little dedication ceremony. So I went out there, and with my intention, I was going to ask Donna Lupardo a question or two about the Endicott Battery incinerator. So I had my camera set up and just pointed at the podium. I shot a little bit of B-roll beforehand, and so my camera was on, and she walked up to me and just started talking to me. So I was cordial, and she first. I'll start it over, but basically she makes a joke about the mask. She says I'm smiling, but you couldn't see it. And then I said, have you seen the ones that are printed with the smile? And she laughed. And then I got into it. So let's start it again.
I'm smiling.
What's that? Oh, have you seen the ones where they put the smile on it? They put the face on it.
I know, everybody's really excited. I know, I kind of mentioned
And I heard that closed Zoom call. I really appreciate your comments you made that night.
So I'm just being cordial here to her. I'm being polite, and I was impressed somewhat about on that call the other night because it seemed like she was shifting. She was beginning to at least talk about hearing some of the community concerns and being concerned herself about the community. So I was very impressed with that. Unfortunately, she's having a dialogue with the applicant. That's not, they're going to say whatever they have to say to get their incinerator built. Okay, that's not. There needs to be a whole different discussion, and we're going to get into what the discussion, because I'm talking to her, so I'm trying to direct her in a slightly different direction, which isn't really on her radar right now. So let's pick it back up.
it's the issue. I mean, that's PFAS, that's the issue. PFAS is a big issue.
Well, that's the big issue that Paul is focusing on. But my question, what about an EIS?
Okay, so the PFAS issue, I've talked about this lots of times, so many times, but the PFAS issue in a nutshell, what that is, the PFAS issue, it's apparently, Paul and John Ruspentini, the different technical science people, the people that know the chemistry, they were looking at the application, and it's quite obvious. I mean, even somebody like me can look at it and see that it's there's going to be dioxins. It's very, very clear, but they were able to look at it and say, oh, there's a big problem with I'm sorry, not dioxins. It's a chemically similar compound, but it's these per and polyfluorinated PFAS, per and polyfluorinated alkyl compounds, something like that. So these chlorine and these fluorine related compounds are very, very toxic, and the dioxins are the ones that are based on chlorine, and then there's a whole branch of like the PFAS that are based on the fluorine ions. They're very toxic, and apparently they didn't do a very good measurement. Paul and John found some deficiencies. The technical chemistry type people found some deficiencies in the PFAS. And the PFAS is, they call it a forever chemical. It's in firefighting foam, and it's a really hot topic. It's the Hoosick Falls, New York. It's the compound that they found in Hoosick Falls, I'm pretty sure. And also the Cohoes incinerator in Cohoes, New York. It's the what's the name of the company? It's Norlite, Norlite. Norlite has an incinerator, and they were burning this firefighting foam covertly. Nobody really knew about it. The DEC could have known about it, but they didn't really do anything about it, like they typically do. So it's become a big deal because the groundwater is getting contaminated there because it's heavier than air, goes up the stack, falls back down, contaminates the place. So anyway, there's this whole... if you've been watching the Bill Houston podcast, we've talked about this many times. And basically there's this whole discussion about what they're going to do about PFAS. Now, in my opinion, I'm not so optimistic about the PFAS issue because... there's no pathway to an EIS. There's no, with this PFAS, issue, let's go this one. All right, and actually, I want to do it like this. I just want to create this graphic really quick so that you can see what I'm talking about, and then so here is the PFAS issue, right? We've talked about this many times. The red snake, the red boxes down here, this is what we were given. This is called an unlisted seeker action. This is what we always get for Endicott. And the green, we're going to get to this. The green is what we should have gotten. I'll explain why in just a second. This is called the Type 1 EIS. And notice there's very few boxes that are overlapped. It's a very, very different thing. So we were denied our due process. Now, No Burn Broom, I love the people. They're doing fabulous. They're kicking ass. This is off their radar. I don't know why. They don't have the expertise. They're not interested. And I don't seem to be able to be heard by that group. So, whatever. They're doing their own thing, and they're good. They're good at doing their own thing. They just don't know this. They don't know the seeker process like I do. So we've talked about this many, many times. The seeker process, you know, if you've been watching the show, the seeker process. So the thing I want to show you about this right now is the following. So the PFAS issue, we got all the way to the end. The final permit was issued March 30th, I think it was. The 27th was the issuance of the amended negative declaration, and then March 30th was the final permit. So it's done, and they just had they had this zoning change. They got to get a building permit. This is all at the village level that's got to go on, right? As far as DEC was concerned, it was done. No Burn Broom raised this issue about PFAS. So what they did was the DEC voluntarily, this is highly unusual. I've never seen this happen. I'm not saying that it's never happened, but I've never seen it before. And I followed quite a few of these different permits going through the different stages. So DEC, sua sponte, on their own, they just withdrew the permit, and they said, well, we're going to make some changes. We're going to work through that, blah, blah, blah. We're going to make some... Basically, they're going to turn up the heater. They're going to turn up the temperature on the afterburner from 800 degrees C to 1,000 degrees C. And they say that destroys the dioxins and the PFAS chemicals, the fluorine and the chlorine, the very harmful, very toxic compounds. It destroys them. It doesn't really destroy them. It transforms them into something else, but they can transform back into the nasty stuff under certain conditions, and like in the presence of a catalyst when the airstream cools. That can happen in a copper flue. So what's the metal composition of these stacks? Has it got copper in it? Something to check out. I looked through all the materials. I can't find anything talking about the composition of the stacks. Copper in the stacks is potentially a big deal because it can cause dioxin reformation as the stuff cools. But the point I'm trying to make is we're trying to get from here, or wherever we are right now, or right here, or something like that. Oh boy, I gotta go back. All right. We're trying to get to the green. We're trying to get from here over to here. This was where the initial problem was. That happened way back here. So what the DEC is proposing, they're just going to kick it back. They're going to make some changes. We're going to open up to public comment, and maybe the public comment will produce some more changes. But there's no path to a Type 1 seeker review, which is the green. There's no path to a coordinated review, which is the pink right here in the middle. DEC, I don't want to say they lied. I don't know. They made a mistake. They made a factual error, and they said a coordinated review had been done. And they said that in October 10th, I think, 2019. A coordinated review has been performed. Nope. No, it hadn't. Big problem for the DEC. So, we didn't get a public hearing. See all the boxes with the H? That's 4 public hearings. We were denied 4 public hearings. And you see all the boxes with a little red outline? That's really all the steps involved in the environmental impact statement. We were denied that. Just a recap. Type 1 seeker. Our right under law. We didn't get it. Coordinated review. That's mandatory with a type 1 seeker. This is our right. Under the law, we were denied it. Now, they can play games and give us a type 1 seeker and not give us an environmental impact statement. That's disingenuous. It just takes one potential impact. And between No Burn Broom and Concerned Citizens of Endicott, we have identified dozens of potential impacts. Okay, dozens. All you need is one. So I'm going to say this is not strictly legal that we were denied 4 public hearings and an environmental impact statement, but because there's wiggle room, it's subjective. The evaluation of that is subjective. But wouldn't you think that Endicott deserves an environmental impact statement? Let's see what Donna had to say. We're picking it back up.
I've been turned down every time I've asked about it, but we'll have to just play it by ear and see.
But my question, what about an EIS?
I've been turned down every time I've asked about it, but we'll have to just play it by ear and see. Pretty close. We'll just have to see how the progresses.
Well, you say it's been turned down.
Well, no, previously, but the state is putting out a PFAS standard this summer.
I know, that's not, PFAS isn't my concern.
Okay, so she keeps bringing it back to the PFAS issue, and I keep saying, I'm not saying anything about PFAS. I'm talking about an EIS, environmental impact statement.
My concern is the fact that there's a required zoning change that if it impacts greater than 25 acres, that means that a type 1 seeker is required.
I'm familiar with it. She says she's familiar with it. Right here. Right? Well, if you're familiar with it, why didn't you write a letter to the DEC commissioner? You did write a letter to the commissioner. You didn't mention this. So what's up with that? This ain't looking good, Donna. Not looking good. I don't think she knew that my camera was on. I'm not even sure she knew I had my camera. I usually show up with my camera. But I'm just sitting on the bench, the little picnic table to the right, off camera, and I shot some B-roll, and I just pointed my camera at the. It's just what I always do. I have plenty of battery. I know the event's going to be somewhat short. It's simpler to just let the thing run, turn it on, and just let it go. So that's what I do. I turn it on and let it go, and I caught this.
Yeah, let's try to take it one step at a time.
Okay, let's go back a little bit, because this is pretty key.
That a type 1 seeker is.
I want you to hear this.
That's not, PFAS isn't my concern. My concern is the fact that there's a required zoning change that if it impacts greater than 25 acres, that means that a type 1 seeker is required.
Okay, so let me just make sure you understand that. I just want you to see this. So, There was an express prior to May 7th, 2020. There was an express prohibition on incinerators within the village of Endicott. You cannot build an incinerator. You couldn't build in any zone in Endicott prior to May 7th, 2020. That's when they claimed that they changed the zoning, but there's issues with it. Okay, there's issues. So, but the point is, because of that zoning change, see this pink box up here? Because of that zoning change, they had to change the definition. In other words, to permit an incinerator in an industrial zone, they had to change the definition of an industrial zone. How many acres does that impact? According to my estimate, it's about 560. And I haven't heard anybody with a better estimate. You know, okay, maybe it's plus or minus 5 acres. It's pretty darn, my estimate's pretty darn close. I guarantee it. So, but the point is, even if it's plus or minus 10%, is 560 acres plus or minus 10% greater than 25 acres? Yup. The limit is 25 acres, and it's from 6 NYCRR 617.4B2. Okay? Required zoning change. That makes it an automatic Type 1 seeker. We were denied our due process rights. Let's go back to Donna.
Yeah, let's take one step at a time.
Let's take it one step at a time. It's like, hey, Donna, we were denied our due process rights. That's a serious violation of our civil rights. What's her answer? Let's just take it at one step at a time. And I just want to say this really quick, okay? There is a happy ending to this. We're going to get to the happy ending. But this has been fairly typical of my relationship with Donna Lupardo over the past 15 years or so. I've contacted her for various things. Back when I was on the board of Peace Action, you know, there was different anti-war things going on, and you know, I was writing her letters about that kind of stuff, and calling her office on different things, like the before this it was the stink trucks. Before that it was fracking, and it's like she is unmovable. Somebody else that I was talking to tonight mentioned that it was like she is like a brick wall. She's a stone wall. You cannot budge her. And it doesn't make any sense. It's like Donna is answering to somebody else. It's not her constituents. I don't know who it is. I don't know whether it's Empire State Development or it's the governor or some bankers, some businessmen. I'm not sure who she's listening to, but my impression of her was, and different people have different results, okay? So it's just me. It's just, I'm relating my experience. I know other people have had similar experiences. Like a brick wall. She's not on the side of the environment. She's not on the side of the people. Whose side is she on? I don't know. But I'm talking to her about my environmental concerns, and she's not interested. For 15 years, she's not been interested in anything I had to say. Any of my concerns, she has not been interested. That's the history. I'm not trying to attack her. I'm not trying to paint a picture of her that's, you know, immutable and you know, as corrupt and immutable. I don't want to do that. I want to see the highest and best. The highest and best right now is for Donna Lupardo to do some things. We're going to get to what those things are pretty quick. Let's go back to the video.
My thing right now is that everybody deserves a seat at the table.
Okay, let's go back, because I'm saying this is required. An EIS or a Type 1 seeker is required by law, and she's like saying, I just want to make sure everybody has a seat at the table. It's like you catch somebody, you're a shop owner and you catch somebody stealing, and you call the police, and the shop owner says to the police, "Hey, you're going to arrest this guy?" And the police say, "Well, we want to make sure everybody has a seat at the table." It's like, what are you talking about? Seat at what table? He broke the law. Arrest him. It's simple. It's the same thing here. It's a very simple question of what is the law? Did the DEC violate it? It's so simple. I've been sending her to this information for months. She should know what it is because I've been sending it to her and she's been ignoring me. Okay? I'm just saying this has been typical. This is typical of how Donna has treated me over the years. Something changed today. Something changed. Let's keep going.
Zoning change that if it impacts greater than 25 acres, that means that a type 1 seeker is required.
Yeah, let's try to take it one step at a time.
Let's take it one step at a time. What do you mean one step at a time?
My thing right now is that everybody deserves a seat at the table.
So you don't support an EIS?
I don't.
An environmental impact, considering all the Endicott benefits, you don't support an EIS?
I'm not here to knowledgeably comment on it right now.
So she's been pushing this from the beginning. September of 2018. A year and a half. She's known about this. She knew about this for a full year before any of us knew anything about it. And she's not knowledgeable to comment on it right now. She's the elected official. The lower house, the assembly, and then there's Fred Akshar. She doesn't know what her name was on the original press release from Empire State Development. Oh, it's wonderful. It's so many jobs. I can show you it. You can go look it up yourself. It's on esd.ny.gov. You can find it. She's like, I love the incinerator, only there's no mention of the word incinerator in it. It's a recycling facility. She called it green manufacturing all this time. Donna Lupardo has been into this big time from the beginning, and now she's claiming ignorance? Really? How can you be ignorant? Have you been watching my videos? Have you been reading the materials that I've been mailing your staff? Maybe not.
I can't really knowledgeably comment on it.
Okay. I mean, wouldn't you always support the environmental impact statement with something as big and complicated as this and potentially hazardous?
Yeah, it's something I've raised with them. I'll continue to raise with them. It's part of the conversation.
You think the DEC?
It's part of the conversation. I've raised it with them in an environmental impact statement. She's trying to say that she raised it with them previously, and the DEC turned her down. First of all, I want to see proof of that. Did you write a letter? Where's the letter? I would like to see it, please. I don't think she really did. Maybe it was some private conversations. But you're the legislator. You're the one of the two main legislators for the whole region, and you're going to give them a pass? Come on.
You should follow the law.
So this is where I really. So I'm pushing. She's pushing back. I kept going.
Is big and complicated as this and potentially hazardous?
Yeah, it's something I've raised with them. I'll continue to raise with them. It's part of the conversation.
You think the DEC should follow the law?
Ooh. Do you think the DEC should follow the law? Because they haven't. Numerous violations of law, possible felony crimes by the DEC and by, let's just say, other officials in government. Could be felony crimes. Just point that out. So It should be an easy answer. Do you think the DEC should follow the law? That should be easy, right?
Let's not go there.
Let's not go there. Do you think the DEC should follow the law? Let's not go there? Like what? What kind of an excuse could we give the DEC for not following the law? Does that make any sense?
Something is big and complicated and potentially hazardous.
It's something I raised with them. I'll continue to raise with them. It's part of the conversation.
Do you think the DEC should follow the law?
Let's not go there.
You don't want to discuss whether the DEC should follow the law?
I don't want to go there.
No. Okay. I've been trying to call your office. Maybe maybe we can have a conversation offline about this. You want to talk about it now? When can we talk about it?
Hey,
The type
we're
one
going to
secret
keep the
required
press
by the law.
conference to just the press.
So it's a little hard to hear because this other woman enters and she's talking to the other media. But I've listened to this quite a few times myself, and I remember the conversation. I'm trying to get, she's kind of blowing me off in real time. I'm like, okay, so you don't want to have a conversation now. When are you going to have a conversation with
Maybe
me?
maybe we can have a conversation offline about this. You want to talk about it now? When can we talk about it?
Hey,
The type
we're
one
going to
secret.
keep
So here's what I say. A type 1 seeker is required by law. Do you think the DEC should follow the law? Should our own government follow their own law? And she can't answer. Isn't that weird?
the press conference to just the press conference. If you have questions or anything.
I'm not trying to dodge you. Oh yeah? Really? Kind of looks that way. Now I got to tell you, this is Chris Whalen. This is her public relations guy. He used to work for one of the local TV news outlets. I forget. I think maybe Fox 40. So he was rushing up to her and trying to move her. He's like, let's get out of here. This is what they do. They're PR people. When they see they're in a bind, their job is to get them the hell out of there. Okay, so he was trying to do that, and now he just walked off. So because he feels like she's wrapping up. So I'm like, it sounds like you're dodging. Let's start that. Let's back it up a little bit.
Hey,
The type
we're
one
going
secret
to keep the press conference to just the press conference. If you have questions or anything, Jason,
sounds like
let me
you're
know.
dodging.
We can figure it out. But everyone's on tight schedule, so we're just going to stick to this for the
I'm dodging because I don't have it off the top of my head. Really. It's like, how long you been doing this job, Donna? I think you should have it on the top of your head. You're running for office. You're not prepared to make a spontaneous speech on a super important topic for your constituents. Aren't you running for re-election this year? And you can't spontaneously off the cuff talk about whether the DEC should follow the law or not. That's interesting. Like I said, this doesn't look good. And then I'm going to tell you what happened. It's kind of amazing.
NYCRR 617.4B2.
6 NYCRR 617.4B2. She's like, I'm not knowledgeable. I don't know. It's like, here's the law. Look it up. 6 NYCRR 617.4B2. If you're out there in TV land, type that into Google. 6 NYCRR 617.4. Stop there and hit enter. And then once you see that section of the law come up, section 617.4, go and read subparagraph B, subsection 2, and see what it says. And see if it doesn't say something about a zoning change greater than 25 acres requires a Type 1 seeker. Seems like it says something like that to me. We're almost done.
Again, I'm Roger. Just not your
Can I call your office and schedule an appointment?
So did you see the gesture? I'm not making this up. Check me out. You can schedule. What's that? Is that somebody holding a kind of an old style, like a princess phone handset to their head? You can schedule a phone call. So I'm going to schedule the phone call. Now here's the funny thing, okay? Because I was mixing it up a little bit with different people there, just chit-chatting, some of the people staying around. I'm not sure who all these people were. One guy was saying, hey, you want to get an interview with this guy over here? He's part of the Rotary Club. He helped to get the grant for this. I'm like, not really. Because I was there for a mission. I wanted to record the press conference and then try to get a question into Donna with all the cameras running. And, you know, hopefully, I was going to basically ask her the same kind of a question. That was my whole mission. I didn't want to get any extra interviews. I don't really care. I mean, there's lots of issues. There's lots of things. I just didn't really, this wasn't really a super big concern to me, I mean, they love this stuff because it's a great photo op, but I don't really, whatever. So, but I got what I was looking for. This was what I was looking for, and this happened before the event started. So my buddy gave me a ride up here because I don't really have a good kind of a fixed like some kind of a wagon or something attached to my bicycle to haul my camera gear, and this is a kind of a tall hill, narrow road, curving. It's not good on a bike. I had my bike, I brought my bike, but my buddy gave me a ride up there, but he was pressed for time, so I was like, when this happened, I was like, let's get the hell out of here. I want to get home and start working on putting this video together. So it was really funny because the people I was chit-chatting to, the guy who was trying to hook me up with the Rotary Club guy to give me, get an interview. The event just started. Like Jason Garner got up there and he's like, man, we did this wonderful. We got this great. We cut some trees. We spent some money. And I'm I'm bailing. I'm packing up. I'm packing up as the event begins. So people are going like, what? Why is he leaving? Well, I think Donna figured it out. I think Donna figured out she was on a hot mic. And because why else would Billy be leaving? Why else would Bill be leaving as the event starts? What the hell? So she's like, so she's thinking to herself, what did I say? It's probably not good. If she had any kind of like recollection, she'd probably thinking, oh my god, this is sorry, I'll cut that out of the final version. It's like it ain't good. So it's 6:00 tonight as I'm putting the finishing touches on this thing, because it took me a while to caption it. 6:00, I got an email from Donna. And it blew me away. Because for 15 years, I didn't get anywhere with her. And it's 5:54 p.m. She says, I'm not going to show you the letter, but basically it's very short and sweet. She says, send me all the references you mentioned today about the EIS. As I said, I took a run at it once, but I'd like to review it again. This is huge. This is huge. The brick wall moved a tiny bit. Donna the mountain moved this much. Almost imperceptible. This much, okay? But it's something. So here's what I want to get you to do, my good friends. So we're going to, I don't have the, let's get a nice picture of Donna. Do I have a picture of Donna, a nice picture of Donna that doesn't have a lot of captions on it? Let me just see. There we go. That's a nice one. Okay. There's a nice one. Let me crop it a little bit. Get rid of some of that. See if I can get rid of the text. Okay. So what we're going to do is, it's going to take me just a second. I'm going to look up some, I'm going to look up her contact info. Because I'm going to ask you out there, friends, to make some phone calls. Make one phone call. Write a letter, a physical letter, a physical email, or where's my... I want you to okay. Oh, I didn't want that. Sorry. Oh, I never did the U-Haul story. I still got to do the U-Haul story. That's an ongoing thing. That's painful. I'm trying to let go. It's just stuff. It's just stuff. But everybody I talk to says that 73% late fees for 30 days late is a little bit excessive. So there's a... I made a complaint to the New York Attorney General, and we're just waiting it out, letting the complaint go through. I've had great results with. I'm getting a little sleepy. I've had great results with the U.S. Attorney General's office. Not the U.S. Sorry, the New York State. I mean, I'm getting tired here. So can I? Should I try to? So there's her. There's her contact info. And let's see if I can add to this a little bit. There it is, generic. There it is. Okay. So the first thing is I want you to contact Donna. You can use email, snail mail. You can call her up on the phone. You can talk to her staff. The first thing that I want you to ask for is a type 1 seeker. Now tonight, overnight, it's about a little after 1 o'clock right now. I am going to be working on a packet for Donna Lupardo. If you want a copy of what I'm going to send Donna Lupardo, I want you to send me a copy of, I want you to send me an email and request a copy. And that's not the right one. Okay, give me 1 second. Let's do... So there is my email address, williamahouston@gmail.com. If you want a copy of this packet that I'm going to send Donna, that is going to explain the legal situation, it's going to be the legal brief, happy to send you a copy. Or hit me up on Facebook or on Twitter, anywhere, any channel you can find me. Just tell me you want the Donna Lupardo legal brief for the Sunjeel facility. I'm happy to send you a copy. But this is what I want you to ask Donna Lupardo for. Okay? So the first thing is, we want a Type 1 seeker as is required by law. The next thing is we want a how about we want a proper and comprehensive coordinated review of the facility, not of the zoning change. We want a coordinated review of the facility. And the next thing is, what do we want? We want I'm just going to put this EIENV This is the ask. This is the complete ask. So (607-723-9047). This isn't doxing. You can find this on Google. She's a state representative. Her number is public. 607-723-9047. That's her office number. I would never put out her cell phone number. I would never do that. That's called doxing. It's even a crime in certain places, right? I'm not going to dox her. That's her office number. 607-723-9047. Donna Lupardo. There is her email address. lupardod@nyassembly.gov. lupardod@nyassembly.gov. And I'm going to send her this detailed packet, but it all boils down to something really simple. These three things. Number one, we want a Type 1 seeker for the Sunjeel facility as is required by law. A Type 1 seeker is going to guarantee us a comprehensive coordinated review. Never was done, despite the fact that DEC said it was done. It wasn't. It was a typographical error, according to DEC's attorney, Joe Sluzar. The third thing, we want an environmental impact statement. I've said this a dozen times that it just takes one potential impact to get you in a positive declaration. We want a positive declaration, we want an environmental impact statement, and we want public hearings throughout the process, as is typical, starting with scoping. We want a full EIS. Dear Donna, I appreciate you so much. I appreciate the conversation we had today. I appreciate that you realize that maybe your responses to me today up on Round Top were maybe a little less than desired. And you sought to remedy that by reaching out to me by email and asking me for the info on the Type 1 seeker. God bless you, Donna. God bless you. This is a move in the right direction. I'm really, really happy. And it's going to make me super happy if all of my friends out there call Donna and be very polite, be very respectful, and just tell her that you appreciate that Donna is giving new interest in protecting the community from toxic, hazardous waste incinerators. That's what it is. From being sited in downtown Endicott. So we're very grateful that Donna has finally seemed to come around. She's starting to bend a little bit. We want you, the listening audience out there, we want you to, let's give her a little push. Let's give her a little bit of encouragement. Thank you, Donna Lupardo, for showing some interest in this. But we're asking that you write a letter to the DEC, Commissioner Basil Seggos. It's super simple. We want 3 things. We want a full Type 1 seeker action, as is required by law, because of the zoning change. The necessary zoning change. Everybody was talking gobbledygook about that, saying it was adding special restrictions. By the way, if you look up I forget what it's called. It's like the New York Battery Act, and it was from 1990, I think. The New York Battery Act. Guess what it does? It preempts. It creates a state preemption over any local regulation over recycling facilities, battery recycling facilities. So when Linda Jackson and all those other people said they were adding special restrictions, all of the news media that never fact-checked this, it's wrong. It's not legal for a local municipality to put special restrictions, which isn't what it was at all. It was opposite speak. They had to change the zoning to remove the express prohibition on incinerators. They had to add an exemption for that. They had to say incinerators, but they weren't even genuine. They said recycling facilities, you know? They didn't call it like what it is. They tried to use this, playing with the language here. So they had to remove the barrier, and they called it adding special restrictions. By the way, special restrictions are illegal. For local municipalities, it's expressly preempted. It will never stand a legal challenge, even if that was what they were doing. And it isn't. It was a BS cover story written by some PR operative, likely Stephen Donnelly, and who Donna Lupardo is connected to for some reason. So we want to thank Donna. Call her, email her, bug her. Remember Scotty from the original Star Trek? He's like, Captain, you cannot continue at this rate. The dilithium crystals are glowing cherry red. We want to light up Donna Lupardo's office phone and make it glow cherry red. Okay? We want to make her phone hot. We want to heat it up by ringing. Email Donna. Call Donna. Reach out to her in social media. Every way you can, contact Donna Lupardo and ask her to write a letter to Basil Seggos and ask for these 3 things. That's it, friends. I appreciate you. I'm going to check the chat really quick, but I'm probably going to be signing off unless I have some people. Are there any people? Is there anybody watching? Looks like we had up to 22 playbacks, it says. We had up to maybe 5 listeners at one time. How about that? And then it sharply dropped off. So, okay. Well, I guess we did we did get some listeners. Happy ending. That's sick. Hi, Brett. Okay, so I am going to sign off, friends. I appreciate... Hit the like button. I see 3 likes. Yay! If you're still watching, hit that like button. Get that like count up, please. And once again, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click the bell and select all notifications. If you want my email address, williamahouston@gmail.com. If you want my snail mail address, if you don't do PayPal, you can write to, or you just want to send me a letter. William Houston, P.O. Box 22, Endicott, New York, 13761. And there's the kind of work that I have been doing. Why am I telling you about the work? Why did I say that before about the PayPal? Well, I work in the public interest, friends, and I have for about 10 years. I used to have a day job that allowed me to fund my own activist work. I don't have such a day job anymore. I do have work part-time for a nonprofit. It doesn't pay enough to really live on, so I really need donations and grants in any amount. If I can raise $500 a month, it would be a huge help. Huge help. So donations are always appreciated, friends. Check out my work at Bill Houston's Fracking Resume. There's my PayPal. Subscribe, like, and share the video. God bless you all. I'll talk to you later.